Hi, John. How you doing? So I've got your presentation up here now. I want to go through the presentation, and I really want to be super critical. I know I am a pretty critical guy, anyways. Um, and I do so to just give you the most bang for your buck, so to speak. I mean, I really think it's important for me to take my experience and expertise and really show you what I'm seeing in every one of your submissions. So you'll never catch me saying, "Oh, this is like last week," or this is good last week. Just keep it up." You know what I'm saying? That's not my style. My style is much more critical. That being said, I am going to be much more critical in this piece. Um, I want to talk about this piece. Okay, like I said, I'm going to be much more critical. I'll just leave it at that. Okay, so let's start the presentation. Regrowing Hope, Deforestation Trade, and Trade Show show project content. Okay, the wording there and the way you have your typography, I would rephrase that because you're saying regrowing hope. There's a break. Deforestation trade, show project content, and that's how people read. Okay, we group things. We're human beings, so you're going to need to get deforestation trade show, and then try to get those words so that you don't have trade and show or anything funky like that. Okay, just see what I mean? Let's move on to the next page. Okay, I get the spinning beach ball of death here. So okay, here we go. That's somehow jumped to the third page. So let's go back. Meant to promote awareness. Okay, in general, right here, typographically, your word count is too long. Let me describe why. 65 characters tops, maybe 70 for a younger audience, but 45, let's say roughly 50 to 65 characters. That includes punctuation and spaces. Anything more than that, and that's just too fatiguing on the eyes. For example, you're asking your viewer to stop at this line, go all the way back, start there, read that whole line, stop here, go all the way back. By the time you get to the fourth line, the eyes are just exhausted, and it's not likely anybody's going to finish reading. Okay, so try a different orientation, maybe a 2 or 3 column type grid. Refer to the grid video. That will help you tremendously here. You have booth is constructed with sustainable materials. Again, I think that you're doing a lot of assuming here. And you need to approach this, or I would suggest that you approach this project like it's you're selling it to your boss, or you're selling it to, you've got to have a reason for someone to accept what you're saying here. And right now, you're not giving anybody a reason to accept what you're saying, and there's a reason why. This is the reason. The booth is constructed using sustainable materials, bamboo, hemp, soy ink. Okay, first of all, bamboo doth not equal sustainable. It depends on how it's harvested. The same thing with hemp, and certainly the same thing with soy ink. So instead of saying I'm using bamboo, hemp, and soy ink, so I'm sustainable, you need to say I'm using bamboo forested from blah, 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 transported. Remember life cycle analysis. You need to give one for all of your materials, your main materials. For example, the hemp, tell how it's harvested. And don't make it up and say it's harvested sustainably. Just look up, do some quick research, and find out how they sustainably harvest hemp. And the same thing with producing soy ink, okay? I get that, dear. I get the concept. That's awesome. It's actually pretty cool. So they take the flyers and it leaves us with nothing. That's awesome. But who's going to keep manning your booth? In other words, the first 100 people come along and all your stuff's gone. What do? Do you close the booth down and have somebody rebuild it? You see what I'm saying? So that seems like a really, really labor-intensive project. Again, you're saying the giveaway is a sack made from hemp, while the graphic is silk screen printed with soy ink. I mean, there's just too much here that you're going on assumption and not enough on fact, figure, and research. Again, what's my concern here is, like I said from the beginning, number one, you're going to have a lot of people gathering right around the front of your booth, grabbing these things and reading them, and that's not good traffic. And when you get further into designing for trade shows, especially a booth, you have to keep traffic in mind. That was one of the things that was covered in the class notes and a couple of my lectures was determining traffic. I tried to explain this to you a couple of weeks ago. I remember I said leaving these here is going to create this big bottleneck of people in front of you. So that's going to be a little bit of an issue. I'd like you to rethink that part. Okay, and then again, I mean, you're starting to get here non-toxic VOCs free ink. Okay, what are VOCs and why is soy ink non-toxic? Not all soy ink is non-toxic. Just because it's made of soy does not mean it's non-toxic. It's all in the way it's produced. Let's move on to this page. You've got your collateral trifold brochure. You've got this die cut, this corner. Is it really worth the cost, the extra cost for a die cut? I don't see it here. I mean, what is the reason for the die cut? Is it fit in conceptually? I don't know. Still seeing that whale's tail here. I'm still seeing that whale's tail. Okay, so you have your collateral piece, your trifold brochure, and you've done this. You said sign up below to receive more seeds. Okay, so name, address, city, state. You have to reverse address this. You have to take all that into consideration. Okay, like you can't just say, okay, where are they going to mail it to? Where's the self postage? Do you see what I'm saying? I mean, this is your these should be your mock-ups, and these should be your final, almost final presentation. So you have placeholder text in here. So that's something that will need to be addressed. Okay. So I guess what I'm saying is that this is good. This is good, but let's get everything addressed here. What is it made of? Why is it sustainable? That's my only problem. Okay. So it looks like you've got your wonderful sources in here. Let's get in there and drill down in those resources and start finding some facts and give us facts on why this drawstring is sustainable, why this sack is sewn, why is the hemp sustainable, okay? Why is silk screening this a more sustainable approach than maybe not engraving, with the thread. I'm embroidering it. Okay, so just really give us something to chew on here. That's all I ask. But other than that, I think the design-wise are going good. If you have any questions, I'll be glad to help you out a little bit further. But really, really think about sustainability. Give us that materials list. It's just as important as the design for this project. And if you take a look at the final project rating rubric, you'll see that sustainability is a good portion. So I really, really want you to take a look at that so we can get you a great project result. Okay, thanks very much, John.